ask yourself why you're so negative? If so, know that you are not alone. Everyone has negative thoughts sometimes. This is completely natural, and it's just another way that anxiety ensures that we stay safe. So welcome back to my channel, where we talk about all things relating to anxiety and our mental well-being. As I often tell my clients, from an evolutionary perspective, it was far more important to remember where the tiger was last seen than it was to remember how lovely it is to go skipping through a meadow of flowers. Historically, continual exposure to immediate threats to our lives, such as hungry tigers, led humans to evolve with a heightened sensitivity towards negative situations. Understanding this evolutionary background helps to explain why we are predisposed to focus on negative events even today. So the average human has between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts per day. Of those, 80% are negative, and 95% of those thoughts are the exact same thoughts that we had the previous day. So, before we jump into the content, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so you're notified of new content every time I post a video. And this also helps me get the video out to more and more people who might also be struggling right now. So this innate human behaviour even has a name, and it's called the negativity bias. And we are designed this way for our own safety. However, our world has changed dramatically since the time when we were all living in caves, and our brains have not been able to evolve as quickly. Therefore, negativity bias can become an unhelpful way nowadays of thinking, and it can cast a black cloud over all of our perceptions and our thoughts. And when every aspect of life seems to be cloaked by negativity, and we're constantly ruminating over the potential for everything in our lives that could go wrong, it becomes essential to use strategies that create a more positive outlook. So you'll see the most powerful example of where negativity bias is seen is in the news and politics, as it is deemed that positivity does not sell. The majority of news stories focus on the doom and gloom going on in the world, even though we all know we are mostly a bunch of amazing humans doing amazingly positive things every day. Negative events usually have a more profound impact on our mental well-being than positive events, even when they are equal in their relevance and importance. So we will all have had the experience when somebody has paid us a compliment and we immediately brush it off. We just dismiss it as no big deal. However, if somebody criticises us, we can ruminate on this for days and weeks and months and even years. So what is the impact of this negativity bias? Well, we start to see the negative in every situation. It can lead to increased anxiety and mental health challenges and leave us feeling overwhelmed, fearful and hopeless. Identifying the signs of our negative thinking is the first step towards breaking free from this pattern. Several other techniques can also help us look at the thought in a more positive way. But before I share these strategies with you, you may be wondering who I am and how am I qualified to give you this information. Well, my name is Jennifer Roblin. I am an anxiety specialist and therapist, and I'm the founder of Better Your Life. And I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people overcome their anxiety. So how do we identify our negative thinking patterns? Recognise and challenge our cognitive distortions. These are the patterns of irrational thinking that we all do. It's critical when we want to understand our negative, anxious thoughts. They are things like all or nothing thinking, mind reading, fortune telling, catastrophizing, labelling. Understanding these distortions provides us with the basis for change. So I want you to become aware of the cognitive distortions. There's a load of information in the description box. You can read all about them and see how they apply to you. And then I'd like you to challenge your irrational beliefs by looking for evidence that dismisses them and then shifts you to a more realistic thinking. Another great technique is to practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is the intentional awareness and acceptance of our present moment. When we are mindful and in the moment, this is a powerful antidote to the relentless cycle of negative thoughts, and research supports the effectiveness of mindfulness in reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety. What I'd like you to do is engage all your senses using mindfulness techniques such as the 5-4-3-2-1 rule, where you focus on 5 things that you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. Alternatively, we have the 3-3-3 rule, and that's focusing on 3 things you can see, 3 things you can hear, and 3 actions that you can take. One of the actions I think is really helpful is the havering approach, and it's just where you rub your hands down your arms, start at your shoulders and go to your elbows. So by practicing these techniques, you'll be able to calm yourself down and put yourself in the present moment. And I've got lots of information again over in the description. Another way we can help with our thoughts is mastering our emotions, because this enables us to transform our relationship with anxiety and negative thoughts and allows us to take back control of our mind and body and behaviour. It's incredibly powerful knowing we can choose how we feel every moment of every day, no matter what is going on around us. Our thoughts, feelings and emotions are all within our own control. We have a choice. We choose the thoughts, feelings and emotions, and then we give them a meaning, an internal meaning. We choose what that meaning is. So if we change our focus and change the language and change our physiology, we will change the meaning that we're giving to these things. So I've got some information in the description. It's what we call the emotional triad. So pop along over there and have a little look. Journaling is another way to reduce our thoughts and feelings of fear, nervousness and overwhelm. Journaling provides an opportunity for self-reflection and discovery, and provides a safe space to question our anxious thoughts. You can read about journaling and the power of the journaling questions that I suggest over in the description as well. So one of the things I'd like you to do is write out your thoughts so you can become more aware of them. Every time you do journal, end each session by focusing on 3 positive things that have happened that day, and remember to be grateful for them. Humour and laughter. Humour particularly, the ability to laugh at ourselves in a non-critical way, is such a skill and serves as a powerful coping mechanism, and research validates the positive impact of self-enhancing humour. So actively look for moments that you can laugh about. Embracing a more positive outlook will reduce the impact of negative thinking patterns, and you'll be in a happier place generally. You can pattern interrupt your thoughts. When you find yourself thinking negative thoughts, imagine that thought is floating on by on a cloud instead of lingering above you. This is such a simple yet effective technique, and it helps prevent the escalation of unwanted thoughts as you visualise them drifting on by. By consciously interrupting your negative thoughts, you can regain control of them again. So practice every time you have that thought, just say stop and visualise it floating on by. Another technique we can do is positive affirmations. Flipping challenging beliefs or thoughts into a more positive and empowering belief and thought can also be an effective strategy. These positive affirmations contribute to enhanced self-confidence, increased resiliency, and they can create a renewed positive can-do attitude. So I'd like you to regularly repeat positive affirmations that state the opposite to the dominant negative thoughts that you may be currently having. If you currently believe that you're not good enough, repeat phrases such as I am good enough or I am capable. And what this does, do it with a smile of course, what it does, it reinforces these affirmations by reflecting on where you have felt these more positive statements and emotions in the past, and you can recall how you felt in that empowering moment instead. You can practice them daily, and I always think it's a good idea to write them on your bathroom mirror or on your phone background, and then you're seeing them constantly. Practice acceptance. This is crazy, but accepting your anxious thoughts without judgment or criticism, because often we tend to push down negative thoughts. We bury them, and as it can be too overwhelming for us to cope with, but the problem is they just keep popping back up. Instead, if we acknowledge the thought, and then you get to decide if it is helpful or not in the present moment. If you decide it is unhelpful, then you can tell it exactly where to go. I used to do that when I was a kid. I used to name my anxiety. He was called Bruce, and I often used to tell him exactly where to go. So acknowledge your thoughts just as they are, without judgment. Ask yourself, is this thought serving me right now? And if it's not, how would you want to think about the situation instead? Another solution is create worry time. Put some time aside. So instead of constantly focusing on negative thoughts, if you put 30 minutes aside each day, and I call it your worry time, you can create the rest of the day to have more positive, empowering thoughts. And you just spend that 30 minutes thinking about solutions or your worries that you have that day. So set time aside, and when you can, just sit down, go through your worries, and the rest of the day, keep your mind free so that you can focus on much more positive aspects. So I really hope you found this helpful. If you do need further support to overcome negative thoughts or anxieties, then please jump on over to the description or there's a link below, and you can get in touch with me and I can see how I can help you, because it is our responsibility for us all to look after our mental well-being. It's an essential part of our lives, our health, and if left unresolved, anxiety can spiral out of control and have a significant impact on our relationships, our work, school, family life, every area of life. So it is my belief that nobody needs to struggle with anxiety. We just need the strategies and the techniques to overcome it. So if you found that helpful, please like, subscribe, please jump on over to the description. There's a lot of resources in there that you can refer back to, and I will see you again next time. Take care for now. Bye.